Hello everyone! Welcome to a 3v3 battle playing on a custom map called the Brass Keep. This is going to be Siege map. I joined a room that was playing multiple custom maps, so the next couple battles are actually going to be custom maps, and both of them are going to be Siege maps. This is going to be the first one. I am leading the Empire with a Balthazar Gelt once again, and he's flying up there in the sky, and I don't know, I just wanted to bring him because I enjoyed playing him that one time I brought him a couple episodes ago, and I was like, we'll bring Gelt again. We also have a ally here with the Chaos faction. We have Wood Elves back here, more Wood Elves here, and that's, actually, here, let's do this again. This is easier in these giant battles here. So you can see Empire, we have Wood Elves, Chaos is marching down from the top of the keep. Another Wood Elf player here with Durthu, Ancient Treemen, Eternal Guards are going to be holding up this main entrance over here that's going to be assaulted by the Dwarves and a Empire faction. Then over here we have more Dwarves with Clan Angren and the other half of the Dwarf faction, because you see they split their forces half here and then half over here. And there are three entrances, or four? There are four? I think it's four actually. One over here, main gate, right here, and then over here. I have deployed some forces being led by a Life Wizard over here on the extreme left, but it's not really going to be assaulted in this battle. And then Balthazar Gelt's going to be leading up the center. I have two Demigryph Knights. We have 4 mortars in total sitting up here. I have a couple greatswords up here, a grenade launcher outrider, and a halberdier. The forces down here, we have multiple greatswords, 3 crossbows, again the Life Wizard, and another halberdier. And listen, there's a lot of forces here. We have cannons, we have siege. Hopefully you can kind of look at these icons and you'll know roughly what they're bringing. For the dwarf player, it's mostly longbeards and crossbowmen. For this player, it's also longbeards and some ironbreakers mixed in here. And you can see the runesmith icons. And then way over here, like the Empire brought a lot of infantry here, a lot of halberdiers. We have greatswords. We have the Jade Wizard. We also have a mortar back here, but I have 4. So haha. I don't know. I'm shit talking because they only brought 1 mortar. So let's start this battle here. Now, something to point out, in this Brass Keep map, these buildings don't actually block anything. So you're going to see these corridors being able to fire through this building. We're going to have archers firing through buildings. We're going to have siege firing through buildings. Like it doesn't matter. None of these buildings seem to block a line of sight at all, which is most unfortunate. But you can see the Empire player is going to be rushing into the main gate here. And they're rushing hard. I probably would have just split my forces because, again, there is an entrance over... Oh. Okay, never mind. There is no entrance over here. My bad. Okay, yeah, just piling through the gate. But we have Durthu's army sitting right here. I am descending upon the hill to try and fortify this position right here, because there's only one tree man and the Eternal Guard with shields over here, and you can see that the enemy is going to be kind of forcing their way through this position. And there's really no threat over here, so I'm also going to start marching our forces down here to assist the center, or I guess one of... Yeah, I consider that the center if there's only 3 entrances. See, I'm kind of getting down here, bringing Balthazar Gelt, because I'm going to support this battle with his magic. Also going to try and chase off this Gyro Bomber a few times with Balthazar Gelt. Over here, again, the Empire player is marching through the gate, past the Tree Man, and engaging against Durthu with the General of the Empire, which is a little hasty, I think, to engage Durthu and these Eternal Guard with the General, but that is what it is. And you just see a bunch of crossbows, and we also have a couple Iron Drakes in here. I think they'll get decent shots on the Treemen here soon. Then in the center, our halberdiers and these Eternal Guard are going to be pelted by all of these crossbow or these corridors, and you can see they do not care about this giant building. They're just going to fire right through, which is most unfortunate. But I'm going to have this greatsword and the halberdier hold right here, and then of course we do have forces nearby as well to support as well. We have the Goblobber. Yeah, we have the Goblobber coming in and hitting our greatswords here, and they also hit our greatswords here. Going to cast our first spell here soon with Balthazar Gelt, and again we do also have the Jade Wizard leading these forces over here, but I'm trying to chase off the Gyro Bomber once again because it keeps trying to pierce, into our defenses. I'm going to keep the Outriders with grenade launchers and both my Demigryph Knights back here to protect the mortars from any flying, which the only flying they really have right now is going to be that General of the Empire, who is dead? I don't think he's dead yet. He may have been driven off. Yeah, there he is. Not dead quite yet. They also have a flying Jade Wizard, and then of course they have the Gyro Bomber over there, and there's just a lot going on. But most of the Dwarf and the Imperial forces are just marching through this gate over here. So I'm going to have both of my mortars and bringing these 2 mortars over here as well. We're going to start peppering this position with just a whole bunch of mortar fire. Some Demigryph Knights coming in, and then I'm also going to be bringing Gelt over here to try and cast some spells, because this is just too tempting to not cast spells. You can see Flock of Dooms being cast by Jerthu. That's the second one going down. There's just so many forces over here. Meanwhile, in the center, my Halberdiers and the Great Swords are holding off some Longbeards, but we are going to lose this fight because of the Quarrelers behind them. You can see my ally with the Chaos Knights coming rushing here to try and reinforce us. And then over here, I'm sending Balthazar Gelt on this side. You can see I'm about to cast an overcast spell over there, so I wasn't paying attention. This Gyro Bomber, this Skyhammer, is going to bomb the out of all of these units. And he is actually going to rout every single one of these units over here in a matter of seconds. Because I was over here paying attention to me trying to do exactly what I'm doing here. An overcast, rain of whatever the heck this is called, I can't remember. So I'm like, yeah, I'm getting all those forces really good. And then I look over here, and in a matter of seconds, the Skyhammer is just going to rout everybody. Look at all the damage it did. Oh, man. I was very upset, but I'm like, okay, well, that's fair. You know, I did a lot of damage over here, not being chased by the General of the Empire, but I'm going to turn around and actually accept this battle. And you can see the Chaos players finally getting down here with their forces, with their Dragon Ogres and Sartorials, so they're going to reinforce this position. In the meantime, my 2 mortars are still firing over there. These 2 mortars are going to be supporting the center against these Longbeards. And like I said, all these forces are just routing because of one Skyhammer, which is really good Skyhammer. There goes another overcast on these Imperial soldiers from Balthazar Gelt, just doing massive amount of damage. Now we have Terror in here with the Shaggoths, Treemen, another Flock of Doom. So this entire Imperial player, all of their forces are going to get crushed just by a bunch of AoE spells and mortar fire. And again, I'm keeping some units in reserve. We have the Outriders, my Demigryph Knights are still back there. But yeah, we're going to lose most of the forces over here to that damn Skyhammer. Meanwhile, on the front line, the Chaos Warriors are holding back the Dwarven Longbeards, and they're just absorbing a lot of the Quarreler fire because they do have decent shields as well. So that's what's going on over there. And this player, the only one they're really micromanaging is their artillery right now, and then the Skyhammer Torpedo, or Skyhammer Gyro Bomber. But over here, man, we are just crushing it. Multiple overcast spells, multiple Flock of Dooms, Terror all over the place, and they are just being routed through the front gate pretty quickly. You can see the Dwarf, or Grombrindle back here with their Runesmith, and they're like, oh crap, I think we lost this engagement. Which they did, but at the same time, again, like, I just lost a huge part of my forces. This player hasn't even been touched, and this Dwarf player is killing everything that we send towards them. So this is looking pretty good on this side of the battlefield, but on the left, like, basically the entire Imperial force was basically just crushed. Some of these forces are going to come back from routing, and they will still fight a little bit later, but again, for the most part, the Imperial player has been knocked out. We do have a couple of Longbeards who managed to, I guess, pierce the lines and go all the way around. Actually, I guess they had to have just ran all the way around like this. Odd how they got there, but now they're in our back lines, kinda. Balthazar Gelt has been overcasting, so he's taking some damage there, but he also took a lot of damage from the Quarreler fire when I had him over here. You can see the Skyhammer is still routing our forces over here, but I do at least get 2 of my Quarrelers back, or my crossbowmen, but all those Great Swords in the Halberdier unit are just going to, or I'm sorry, the Halberdier unit's actually over here. But most of those Great Swords and one of the crossbows are routed, and these guys are almost dead. So I'm going to do my best to try and save the forces that are left over here. I'm going to be bringing Balthazar Gelt over there as well. Sorry about the choppiness, it's just there's a lot of units on the field, a lot of stuff going on. Mortar team still pounding the 2 interests, well, I guess the 1 interest now right over here since they already did their job over there. And I believe I have the 2 other mortar teams. Yeah, so I have all 4 mortar teams now firing over at the dwarf position over here. The Quarrelers have almost all but spent their ammunition at this point. They have killed everything that went their way, but we still do have some Eternal Guard back here. We obviously still have most of the Chaos Force and Ancient Treatment over here, still trying to wrap up part of the Dwarven Force and the Imperial player. You can see a lot of Terror units over here. Shaggoth beaten down on an Imperial captain. So yeah, we're actually pushing out of the Brass Keep here. We are kind of getting beaten right here. And this, again, this dwarf player is untouched, but they're not really moving. Like, they dealt a significant blow with the Skyhammer, but besides that, they're really not supporting their player, the other teammates, with their army, which I find odd. But, you know, okay. So now the Skyhammer, I think, is trying to get to the Great Swords, but then they're going to try and fight off Balthazar Gelt. I'm going to cast a regrowth spell on Balthazar Gelt from the Jade Wizard. I'm also going to be nerfing their armor here with Gelt's, what is it called? Let's see what it's called. I can't remember. Yes, sir. Plague of Rust. I'm going to overcast Plague of Rust to drop this thing's armor by -60 here soon. And again, we're going to be casting a regrowth on Balthazar Gelt, and we're going to be able to win this fight against the Gyro Bomber. As we continue to get hit by the Dwarven Artillery. Because it looked like I was going to start to lose this fight, potentially, and I can't let that happen. So there we go, regrowth, stand your ground, and now this thing has only 40 armor, and so Balthasar Gelt is actually going to chase it all the way out of the field, and then come back to what is left of his soldiers. Meanwhile, you can see one of the dwarf players with what little they have left, because half the forces were crushed over here, is still trying to pierce through the center. We do have the Longbeards here and here. These two Longbeards over here that were deployed and kind of in the back are now getting taken out by the Eternal Guard over here, and then the Blade Guard. Mortar team still hammering the dwarves that are coming in through the center. All 4 of them are, so that is really good. And again, Balthasar Gelt is just chasing that unit off the field, and the Chaos and Wood Elf player are just having a field day out here with some of the dwarf forces and the Imperial force. You can see most of them are routed off or have died. They do have a couple of Thunderers. They still have Grombrindle fighting against the Shaggoth, but there's just too many forces over here. And again, like, there's this whole, like, untouched player over here. They're not really doing much, which I thought was really odd, but at the same time, they did really well with that Skyhammer. That Skyhammer wrecked, like, half my force by itself, which is amazing. Over here, the Corliss is going to try and go into melee. It's at this point, I think I'm going to be lowering my, or getting my Demigryphs down here, and also my Outriders with grenade launchers to try and support this center fight. I think I do that. At the very least, I'm still supporting it with the mortar teams, though. Although mortar teams don't do as well against dwarf heavy armor, but they still do something. And again, over here, it's the writings on the wall. Like, they're not going to survive all of these monstrous creatures, tree men and Shaggoths. You see Grombrindle fighting to the last, but he will eventually succumb. So the thing we really have to worry about right now is going to be this player who's now starting to finally march their forces across the battlefield. What it remains of this player is getting wrapped up here in the center with my Demigryph Knights. We have Blade Guard off screen. We have those mortar teams, the Outriders with grenade launchers. Balthasar Gelt is nearby. So, like, there's just too much for what is left of this dwarf player to handle. And you can see these Chaos Hell Cannon rounds just going down on these dwarven players as they're marching across the field. I imagine they're trying to go over here to assist their allies, but it's a little too late. A little too late. I'm just going to put that out there. So yeah, you can see this dwarf player is now just being turned away here by just overwhelming forces of our Wood Elf and me. I'm going to send Balthasar Gelt over here along with one of my greatsword units that are almost dead, and we're going to help our allies out here finish off these riflemen and corlers and all that stuff here. You can fast forward a little bit, because there's really not much going on with this army. They're going to march down here, and then they're going to decide to march through the opening over here instead. I guess halfway over here, they finally realize that they're not going to be able to assist their allies, because you can see their allies are actually routing at this point. They do have a Runesmith that we're going to be going against. Also, that Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is going against him, so he does not have long to live. But still, basically, an entire Dwarven army is just kind of sitting out here, mostly untouched. And again, they are going to start coming into this center opening where I have what remains of my Jade Wizard detachment is going to be coming over here. I do still have my 2 Demigryph Knights with halberds. The 4 mortar teams still do have a lot of ammunition, and we still also have the Outrider. You can see the Wood Elf player still has Glade Guard. Some of their ammunition, or most of the ammunition is spent, but they also have Ancient Treemen. They have still Durthu. Shaggoths are out here. Big Bird's still out here. It's a lot for one dwarf player to handle. Fast forwarding isn't actually really doing much at this point, so I might as well hear the pretty sounds. These hell cannons, man. You can see some of their forces starting to come up this center ramp here, these long beers, but they're going to be held in place by the great swords. Jade Wizard is going to stay by for encouragement aura, and what's left of my crosswomen is going to be firing into here as well against his corlers, and the rest of these forces are going to be coming up. At this point, I'm almost out of Winds of Magic, even with his Staff of Volans. I have enough for, I think, like 1 spell left at this point. Mortar teams are getting closer so that they can get into this clump of Dwarven infantry. Woo. You see the Hell Cannon round go straight through a building. Here goes an overcast spell of that Rain of Metally Death, that's what I call it.
Formation march! Take the ground!
And this is going to be the final march of the enemy forces, being led by Belagar Ironhammer. Huh. We don't see him often. Now they are going to get through my greatswords initially, because there's only 2 of them, and they were mostly dead. But you can see the enemy forces clumped up a lot, so they're just going to get pelted by mortar teams. I'm seeing my grenade launchers down here. I think they're right over there. I believe they got hit by an enemy runesmith. They were getting hit by this guy over here, and then also getting shot at by artillery or something. That's why they took some damage there. So you can see the great swords are going to be faltering. I'm going to pull my crossbowmen back a little bit. I'm retreating our Jade Wizard over here behind the, well, allied Shaggoths and Ancient Treemen. Now the Outriders are finally going to have just a field day shooting into this clump of Dwarven infantry. And you already see the mortar teams and Hell Cannons still going off. I basically out of Winds of Magic, which is why I'm not casting any. And you can probably tell what's going to happen here. We just have so much AoE, so many monstrous creatures still left. So this dwarf player is not going to be able to finish us off. I don't think that was me. I think that was Big Bird. And there we go. The Allied forces are going to have a victory, saving the Brass Keep. I kind of like the design of this map, kind of. There's only one way up to the center, which is this main ramp over here. There are multiple entrances, and we did defend them all, but you could, if you wanted to, just defend up here with a bunch of whatever you want, and you're still forcing an enemy up a choke point. So I don't really like that. I would like to have, you know, a couple other ramps like these. Over here, I would want this to ramp up and around to the center, and the same thing with over here. But like the Jade Wizard detachment, there's actually nothing over here. This is just a dead end. But I still wanted to spread out our forces because, I don't know, playing a custom map, you just kind of want to have fun and not necessarily there to win. But yeah, so this map is okay. It looks kind of cool, but again, I wish there was a ramp over on the right and the left so that enemies had multiple positions to attack instead of having to eventually just run up the center, which kind of sucks to run through a choke point. And everything going through these buildings, the arrows and all the artillery, is just kind of a letdown. I don't know if, when you're making a custom map, if you can put a mesh on this or whatever they do to make sure that no, like a blocks line of sight and things like that. I'm assuming you can do that. I'm assuming. But if it had that change and then 2 additional ramps, then the Brass Keep I think would be pretty cool. Not entirely sure why it's in a Chaos theme. I guess the Brass Keep was taken over by Chaos, yeah, taken over because there's like a giant Chaos gate up here, which it's kind of cool. But anyway, yeah, so that is the Brass Keep. Take a look at the kills. Balthazar Geld had a lot of damage dealt with his spells, but only 1 kill, which is, that's fine. Nothing else really stands out here besides the mortar teams. They just got a ton of kills because they were attacking clumped up soldiers. And the Outriders only got action at the very end and still netted 66 kills. For Unknown, our Wood Elf player, 121 kills for Durthu is pretty insane. Glade Guard got upwards of 100 each. Well, actually only 2 of them. Ancient Treemen did okay. And then for the Chaos player, whew, wow, that's a lot of kills all around. For Wertio, we have the Belagar Ironhammer Force who ran in at the end. 129 kills on the cannon, 192 on the Godlobbers. Good. 242 on that damn gyrocopter. Oh my god. 242. Jesus. Let's see. Kite, this is the person who charged up first. The dwarf player did. The Longbeards did pretty good. The Coilers, some of them did pretty good. And some of the artillery did really well. These Iron Drakes did not get a chance to do too much. They kind of got just charged and murdered. Because they were over at the main gate where the Empire player was. And yeah, that was a bad time for everybody. And then for Takala, 62 kills on the mortar. But yeah, like their forces just got crushed. They just all rushed through. And man, the amount of Flock of Dooms and all the AO, like it was just a... That was a brutal fight. That was a very brutal fight. So yeah, that is going to do it for this episode, everybody. Again, there's not really going to be a cinematic view because it's kind of choppy, and I think the next battle may be choppy too because I stayed in this room and it's another 3v3, but it's going to be a different map called the Sarl Encampment, which is another siege map. It's a little different because the attackers are attacking a Sarl encampment, so it's not like as fortified and crazy. But so that's going to be coming up in tomorrow's episode. So hope you enjoyed, everybody, and I will see you all next time. Take care.